Hello and welcome back to another final table commentary. If at any point in time you find yourself not caring for the commentary, there'll be a link in the description down below to the video and KalipokerTV poker replays, so you can go check out the action in some silence. With that being said, today we've got some Bounty Builder series of 530 with Lena, so I had to hop on into that. We got bang. We got Maka with a couple of 9s, CPU Ruler, Bad Day, Jajags, Day of the Dead. Air Fund N, interesting name. Air Fund is their name. The Regio with the little puppy, and then Lena, of course. Top pair for Day of the Dead. Gets a little value from Maka, going for some very thin value with the 9-9. Sees the bad news. What do we got going on here? 3-6 for Darogio. The doggo. Oh, we're gonna get an open from Day of the Dead, the King 2 suited, and they'll take it down pre-flop. CPU Ruler with an ace and a 9 in the big blind. Sees an under the gun raised by Bad Day. In first place position with that 8-7 suited. CPU Ruler plays call. That's top pair for Bad Day. CPU Ruler with 2 overs, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draws. Might see a big bet on the flop here. Nah, Bad Day goes for a small bet, 1.5 blinds. Would be cool to see a check raise, but CPU Ruler says we'll just play check call, 8 on the turn. 3 of a kind for Bad Day. No straight help, no flush help. CPU Ruler might just be done with this pot here, although there's still plenty of straight draws. Bad Day bets about 5.7 blinds, and CPU Ruler gets out of the way. We got Lena sitting there with 10 blinds. We got bang with 6.5 and an ace and a jack. Sees the Lena rip it all in with the King 9 suited. CPU Ruler in the small with ace 10 suited. Interesting little happening here. We could see 3 shorties all in. There's the call by the ace jack. CPU Ruler's gonna think about it for a little bit. We might just find the fold. We don't expect Lena to have such a wide holding, the King 9 suited. But we do expect bang to have a very strong holding, the ace jack. Very reasonable. Could also have some strong pocket pairs. CPU Ruler does stick it in for the bounty. King 9 makes 2 pairs, no help on the turn. Bang does survive with the side pot. No, they don't. Sorry, Lena covered them. Lena gets the bounty. My apologies. Still waking up in this morning. Ooh, I see a couple of kings for Day of the Dead. As CPU Ruler's down to 12 blinds, they're in last place position. Lena with 27 now. That's cool to see. They still got a long way to go, but the potential for them to make a big comeback is there. As I think they got a 250 bucker bounty. Anyways, Bad Day with an 8 and a 9. Goes for the open on the button. King 3 defends the big blind. Queen, jack flop. 5.5 blinds in the middle. Bad Day bets 1.5. And Day of the Dead is thinking about a check raise. How cool it would be. They land on the call option. 7 on the turn. Backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. Day of the Dead has to come along on the flop, even with an overcard there. And we see Bad Day with the 8-9-0. A little straight draw to the 10. 8 or a 9 is also live. Seven of spades on the turn. Bad Day bets just over the pot, 9 blinds. Day of the Dead goes in the tank here. And let's go with the King High, no surprises there. Nice little steal by Bad Day. Ace 4, we'll probably see them open it on up and take it down pre-flop. Air fund in the big blind with a bullshit holding, and 20 blinds has to let it go. Mako with a 10-7 suited thinks about it for a second and they let it go. Everybody's thinking CPU earlier with a suited king. We'll find the fold. Day of the Dead will open up king 10-0. The doggo in the big blind calls 10-4 suited. We get an ace king 3 flop. Backdoor straight draws, backdoor flush draw for dog. Dog sees a 2 blind bet and gets out of the way. Bad day with a king 10 will come in for the open. Air fund with the ace 8-0 on the button lets it go. So we got 10k for the victor, that's good to note, plus bounties on top of that. $500 entry, not too bad of a day. Lena with the 6-7 will limp it on in. 7-2 is forced to see a flop. Ace 5-4. So that 3 would be dirty as Lena would make the straight. 6 on the turn is pretty shitty for Lena. If a 3 or an 8 comes, of course, because then we just chop the pot. We might just get the bet through. 3 blinds into 5. Weird spot for Mecca as they go in the tank and they start to do some math. They might put in a raise even, because that's better than calling. There's the raise, 6.8. Lena snap calls, checks on the 5 river. Lena limps, bets small on the flop. We get a call. 6 on the turn. Lena makes a pair. They bet again, 3 blinds. And there's the jam by the 7 deuce as we get a raise on the turn. Lena snap calls and finds the fold on the river. Beautiful play by Mecca. Lena gets owned there. Down to 17 blinds. What a damn shame. Queen 7 for Mecca in the small. Rips it all in and takes it down pre. Ace 7 suited for bad day in the big blind. We'll wait patiently. Elena with an ace from the cutoff. We'll just find the fold. CP earlier with Jack 5 in the small. Likely just folds. Ace 10 for Elena. Might rip it all in. Ah, they go for a min raise. Interesting stuff. CP earlier with a couple of kings. Wait, why did I think Lena was going to rip ace 10? Because they ripped the king 9 earlier for 10 blinds? 16 blinds is just different poker, Brendan. You gotta smarten up. Anyways, king will rip it all in. And I think Lena calls for the little bounty here. With about 28%, we're looking for an ace or some backdoor straight helps. We get a 9 on the turn and a 9 on the river, so a full double for CP ruler, and Lena's back in last place. And then they get a couple of 7s, they'll be happily all in. Day of the Dead will probably call with queen 9 for the $875 bounty. Jags with the 5-4-0, we'll let that go in the small. And Day of the Dead will call for a flip here. The queen 9 flops 2 pair. We're very likely to lose. Oh, just kidding. Lena makes a straight on the river. 7 or an 8 was their outs, and they find one come the river. Lena survives with 15 blinds. Mecca with the ace king. What position are they in? Cutoff. High, low jack? They come in for the open. King 10 suited for Day of the Dead. Calls from the small. Ace, ace, deuce flop. Pretty boring pot as we'll get it. We'll see a bet and a. Does Day of the Dead call the 2 blind bet? Backdoor straight flush draw. Royal flush draw, in fact. Day of the Dead just lets her go. Bad day with the queen 7. Is suited and booted. They come in for the open. Day of the Dead on the button with a couple of 9s. Hard to let these go pre-flop. We gotta play call at least. King 5-4 flop. Bad day with the backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. 1 overcard to the 9s. They bet 2 blinds. Day of the Dead will likely play call even without a spade. We'll be off to the turn. Whoa, we just let go of the 9s on the flop? Interesting. I understand we gotta preserve chips, but 2 blinds? Anyways, we'll swiftly move along. 10-10 for air fun. 13 blinds. Do we rip it in or do we go for a min raise? Doggo in the small blind with 9-8 suited. Sees the min raise, might rip it in. No, but Doggo does play call. King Jack 7 flop. Interesting little flop there for Doggo with a straight draw to the 10. Backdoor diamond draw. Two overcards to the 10s. Air fun goes in the tank. From them, I think I bet 2 blinds. Doggo says we'll go to the turn for free. Queen of hearts. Doggo bets about 2 blinds. Get a call from the 10s 8 on the river. That will slow Doggo down, right? Or do we just jam it all in there, blocking 9-10? Nah, Doggo checks. And air fun will likely check back the 10-10. 9.5 blinds will slide over to air fun. Ace 4 suited for Lena in the small. Three 5 for Doggo on the button. We'll just let it go. Lena rips it in, right? I hope they ripped it in. I didn't really look and see. My head was moving around for some reason. I should really just be watching the screen. Anyways, King 9 suited for bad day. We'll raise and take it down pre. Ace Queen for Jags under the gun will come in for the open to 2.1 blinds. Ace Deuce for Doggo will let that go. And bad day with 6-3 in the big blind will probably fold as well. Just kidding, they're playing call. We get a queen 6-5 flop. Bad news for bad day. Well, they just got a middle pair, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. But they're gonna call a flop bet. 1.4 blinds is the size. 10 on the turn doesn't help out bad day at all. Jags bets 8 blinds on the turn, about pot. And bad day, let's go with a pair of 6s. Queen Jack for Elena will come in for the min raise. Mecca with the king queen. I smell a 3-bet coming in. No, they play call. Jags in the big with ace 10. Or at least playing call. Jags goes in the tank here. It smells like a 3-bet's coming in. Just kidding, they play call. Queen 7-4 flop. Bad news for Lena. As they're gonna need to find a jack. They rip it all in 10 blinds. Mecha will do something here. Certainly we don't fold top pair. Here's a call by the king and the queen. Lena needs specifically a jack. No chop outs. 3 on the river, and Lena's Gonzo Alonzo. Mecha gets the bounty, and more importantly, some chips. 56 blinds for him. At second place position. Get a couple of 5s. They'll raise it on up from the hijack. And take it down pre. Jags with an ace-4, and the small will let it go. CP ruler with a king and a jack. They'll come on in for the open air fun in the big with a queen 5 suited. Day of the Dead with a jack and a 3. We'll let that go. Ace jack 8 flop goes check, bet, fold, and we're moving along. Poppity boo, 5 blinds, slide over to CP ruler. Nine deuce for Jags. Why did I say that? 4-3 will go in for the open for bad day and take it down pre. 9 deuce. 9-10 for Mecha in the big blind. Might get a walk here. Air fund on the button with the 8-6 suited and 15 blinds. We're in last place. I suppose we can go for the open. No, we just pass on the spot. And Mecha gets a walk. Ace 10 for Jags. They'll come on in for the open. Day of the Dead with the ace 3. Might 3-bet? Nah, they just fold. King 9 for Mecha in the small blind. Could always 3-bet. It's just not likely. Just a swift fold. CP ruler with 8-10 in the big blind. Jags has been kind of snug, so I think we're going to fold. Or quiet, not snug. Haven't heard too much from Jags, so CP ruler just passes on the spot in the big blind, and the doggo with an ace 2 suited will come in for the open from the cutoff. Bad day in the big blind with an ace and a 5 plays call. We get an ace 10-10 flop. We're going to chop it a lot. We'll see a small bet on the flop. We'll likely check back the turn. 9 of spades. Do we bet again on such a juicy card? Where there's so many draws, so many straight draws, so many flush draws? No, we just check it back. 4 on the river. Spades complete. Bad day goes in the tank. It'd be a small bet. About half pot is the size from bad day. And doggo will probably just play call. Do we ever fold? Nah, doggo plays call and we chop the pot. And we get a little break. We'll have to fast forward through that bitch. Ace 5 suited for Day of the Dead will come in for the open. And take it down pre. Ace jack for Day of the Dead in the big blind. Mecha with a queen 9. We'll let that go. Bad day with the jack 3. Ace jack plays call. We get a 7-4-3 flop. Very interesting as bad day's got that bottom pair. They check it on back. 2 overs, backdoor flush draw on the flop for Day of the Dead. We see the 7 of clubs on the turn. That's no help. Day of the Dead checks. Bad day will bet. No, we check. King on the river. I was figuring bad day will go for a little protection on the turn. They say we'll just go down to the river for free and show down the pair of 3s and take a small pot. Ace jack for Jags. They'll raise it on up. And then again, like bad day with the ace 3 in the small blind could always 3-bet. But I think we're just going to play patiently and fold. It would put ace jack in a weird spot, let me tell you. Make it like 8 blinds. All in is the size for about 40 bigs. We see Jags has 73% here, but they might let go. I don't know. I hope they find the call. This would be a huge pot. Be over 70 blinds. If Jags can find the call and hold on up, they'd be in second place position. Who is expecting the all-in size? You'd think maybe this is a lot of pocket pairs. Like, this just smells like pocket 8s. 7s, 9s, and Jags lets ace jack go. What a damn shame. Blinds go up. Nice play by Day of the Dead. I was thinking make it 8 blinds, but then Jags will probably play back against you. Anyways, bad day. The queen jack will come in for the open. Doggo in the big with the king 4 suited. We'll play 3-bet. You'll love to see it. They make it 7 blinds, and that will... Doesn't look like it's getting the job done. Bad days thinking about it. Uh-oh, bad day's gonna do something here. I think... No, they let her go. And the 3-bet gets through. Pretty good shit for Doggo. Bad day will open. Queen 5 suited. Ace jack for Mecca in the big blind plays call. We get a 8-8-2 flop. Not much doing for bad day. We'll see if they take a stab on the paired board. They do, and they bet large 3 blinds. And Mecca folds the ace jack. Nice play by bad day. Ace 4, CP ruler's got a couple of 9s. The big stack raises under the gun. CP ruler will rip it all in for about 12 bigs. And I don't think bad day goes bounty hunting here. No, they let it go. Ace 5 suited for Jags under the gun. Hopefully rips. No, not rips. Opens it up. There we go. Bad day with the king jack suited. Could always rip is what I was thinking. It would be a big jam. It would get through pre-flop though. We see a call instead. Queen 6-4 flop. 2 hearts. No diamonds for Jags, but the backdoor straight draw. And ace high is still best. Bad day with that flush draw, of course. 2 live cards to the king or jack. Sees a super small bet, 1.3 blinds into 5.5. They elect to check raise the flop. 7.5 blinds is the size, and Jags will have to let go of the ace high. Ace queen for Day of the Dead will raise under the gun. Ace queen for Mecca. I wonder if we play call here. 7-7 for air fun. If they rip, Mecca might fold. And Day of the Dead will have less than a flip against the 7s. Instead, the 7s hit the muck. Not surprised to see it. It's an under the gun raise. Air fun says I'll just move along. I wonder what air funded means. As we see the ace queen for Mecca go for a 3-bet to 6 blinds. Ace queen, Day of the Dead. Jam. No, it's too big, right? What a weird spot for ace queen. Does it just hit the muck here? Mecca's been quiet. There's 2 shorties. Air fun with 10 blinds. CP ruler with 15. Jags with 24. We've got 36. We don't really want to risk that. Put our life on the line, so ace queen hits the muck. Nice play by Mecca to take it down pre-flop. Ace 3 for CPU ruler, don't do it. They raised the 2 blinds, that's no bad. They're not bad, sorry. All in from the king queen for bad day. Can you imagine if Day of the Dead calls here with the ace jack? Again, it's 35 blinds. We just have to move along, unfortunately. And ace jack hits the muck, and CPU ruler with the suited ace also folds. Ace queen for air fun in the big blind. Jags with the king 10 suited will open it on. Ooh, jam it all in, and we'll get a call from the big blind. King or a 10 would be sweet, because Jags would get a bounty, but air fun survives instead. Jags is down to 14 bigs, second last place for him. Air fund in third last place. Bad day with an ace jack suited will come in for the open and take it down pre. And CPU ruler with a jack and a 10. They'll open it on up under the gun. Bad day with a king and a queen. They'll raise the 5 blinds, and CPU ruler says, fuck me, yo. Fuck me, yo. And they fold. Ooh, doggo with a couple of queens. He's a bad day open under the gun with the king 7 suited. Sometimes you see flats from strong hands in these weird situations where there's a couple of shorties. I guess Jags has 14 blinds, so they're not necessarily a shorty. They got playing chips. Anyways, doggo 3 bets to 5.7 blinds. And bad day, let's go with the king 7 suited. Aces for Jags. I don't think they're going to get any action. Bad day in the big blind with a 2 and a 3. Get a min raise from Jags under the gun. Mecha with a queen 9. We'll let that go. Queen 9 for CPU ruler is suited. Will also fold. Bad day says I'm suited. I'm going along to the flop. We get an ace queen 3. Flop 1 diamond for bad day. Backdoor straight draw. Backdoor flush draw. Bottom pair. Bad day will call a small bet. Jags bets 1.1 blinds. This smells like aces, yo. What other holdings could it be? Some sort of pocket pair, maybe? No, a lot of that rips pre 13 blinds. What comes in from the min raise? Aces, kings, queens. I wonder if there's like some ace 5? Jack 10? Suited, of course. No help on the 8 of clubs turn for bad day, and Jags bets with top set and takes the pot down. Day of the Dead with a couple of 8s will raise and take it down pre. Jags with the 5-4 in the big blind will let that go. Ace 9 for air fun. King 10 for Jags. Got a raise under the gun. Jags, let's go with the king and the 10. And Day of the Dead also folds. Jack 9 for Mecha. I don't know why I thought they were going to open it on up. They've got 45 blinds, second place position. But they got bad day a couple seats to their left, so they got to play pretty snug. 8-7 for Day of the Dead. We'll rip it all in and take it down pre. 7-5 for Doggo in the big blind. Might see a raise from the button, the king 7-0. CPU ruler's thinking about something with 10-6 suited, but they'll find the fold. Does fold around a Day of the Dead with the king 7, and they open it on up. Doggo will play call. Queen 10-4 flop goes check, bet fold, and we're moving along. No, it goes check check 4 on the turn. Really not that interesting as Doggo doesn't pick up any help. Day of the Dead will go for a delayed C bet and take it down. Couple of 10s for Mecha in the big blind. 7.5 blinds. CPU will rip in the queen jack onto the gun. Air fund with a couple of 5s. They let the 5s go. 10s call. Queen or a jack dealer. Oh, just a king now. Just the king will do. Queen on the river is no good as there's a set for Mecca. And CP rulers Gonzo Alonso. Ace 5 for Doggo. On the button they just let it go. I guess there's Mecca in the small with 50 some blinds and bad day in the big stack. As they see a limp from Mecca, they'll raise up the 8-3 suit. They check it back. 7-9 2 flop. 1 spade for bad day, 3 in a row. We'll go for a bet ski and try to take the pot down. 1.4 blinds, about half pot. Mecca with the queen 10 will come in for the float, and we get a 7 on the turn. Pair in the board. Mecca checks. Bad day will go bombs away. 4 blinds, dealer. 3.7. And the queen 10 hits the muck. Nice play by bad day. Blinds go up. Ace 5 for bad day in the small blind. Looks like a 3-betting spot if Mecca opens up this 8. No, it hits the muck. Ace 5 will just rip it in and take it down pre from bad day. King 8 bad day will raise the button. King jack suited for jags in the small blind. Rip it in and take it down pre. There's the jam from the king and the jack with about 70%. Jags gets a call, sweating the 8s. Oh, a 5 sucks too. We get a 3 on the river. King jack holds up 25 blinds, slides jags way. Duck for bad day. They come in for the opened. Ooh, jags with another king jack is not suited. It's 25 blinds though. 25 blinds. We're thinking about a small 3-bet here. There it is, 5 blinds. Bad day might rip it all in though. Jags will have to fold. Rip it in, bad day. There you go, and you'll take it down pre. Nice play by bad day. Not scared of the small 3-bet, and the king jack hits the muck. Ooh, queen for bad day. Queen jack suited for jags might play call from the cutoff. King jack for day of the dead. Aw, queen jack hits the muck. King jack hits the muck. 6s for air fund. Oh, they could rip it in. There's the all in from the 6s, and bad day says thank you very much. Just no 6 dealer. Just no 6. 7 on the river, that will do. GG to air fund or Gonzo Alonso. So we got Jags in last place with 20 blinds, then Doggo with 27, Day of the Dead with 31, Mecca with 41, and Bad Day in first place, covering everybody by at least double. 83 blinds, 2-3 suited, season Day of the Dead open. We're 5-handed, so the 2-3 calls, we get a queen 6-5 flop. 1 club for Bad Day, another spot where they'll call a small bet. 1.2 blinds for Day of the Dead. And Bad Day goes for the check raise. Uh-oh. Day of the Dead's got that frickin' set. We're looking for a 4 for the straight for Bad Day. Or club. A 3 will slow Bad Day down. Or do we just go bombs away? Bet half pot. Do it. No, we bet 3.6. This does not size it up. No, it does size up a river jam. Just barely though. Interesting sizing. Day of the Dead will go in the tank, find a call, make a boat on the river. And Bad Day will give it up. Day of the Dead will rip it all in, and I imagine Bad Day just finds the fold, although everything bricks. 5-5 will rip her all in. Interesting sizing choice, leaving them with 1.09 blinds. Bad Days having a bad day as they go in the tank here. No, I'm just kidding. They have 74 blinds. They will eventually find the fold here, I think. Although everything bricks again. So if they do find the call, it makes sense. I just think they're a wizard and they're playing a strong game. There's the fold from Bad Day. They think it through and they move along with the first place position intact. Ace Jack for Doggo will come in for the open. Jags with the queen and a 9 in the big blind. That's a defending hand. They'll play call. 8-4-2. Goes check. Doggo does elect to bet the 2 overcards, backdoor straight draw. Jags with the backdoor straight draw, 2 overcards. We'll just find the fold on the flop. Aces for Mecca, Ace Jack for Batty. I didn't want to say Bad Day again. Aces will open, Bad Day will 3-bet. Could you imagine if they just fold Ace Jack? Nope, there's the 3-bet. Now, if I'm Mecca, I like a call. I don't know about you, but I want to slow play the aces here. It just sucks if I have the kings and somehow there's like an ace high or a scary board, just a general scary board. And action slows down or something, but I think Bad Day's gonna have so many 3-bets here that we just want to see a flop with our aces. Mecca elects to 4-bet to 13 blinds, and I think we're just gonna scare away our customer. 7 more blinds for Bad Day to continue. If you get a jam out of him, then good for you. Good play. I just think you're scaring him away. And Bad Day, let's go with the ace and the jack. 9-7 suited for Mecca will find the fold. Bad Day with a king 6 suited will open it on up. Doggo in the big with a 9 and a 4 will find the fold that we're moving along. 8-8 for Doggo in the small. We get an ace 3 raise from Bad Day, suited and booted. 28 blinds for Doggo. Weird spot. They rip it all in swiftly. And they take it down. Ace Jack for Jags. 17 blinds. I think we open it up to 2. Jags like a 2.1 size. They go in the tank here. And they just elect to rip it all in for 17 blinds. They get it through pre. Not much doing here. Bad Day with a king 6 from the small will raise and take down pre. Just be cool to note what size. 19 blinds effective with Jags. Do we make it like 2.7 or something weird like that? Do we just rip it in? All in is the size from Bad Day. And they just take it down pre. Ace 10 for Jags in the small. We'll see a raise from Bad Day with a king and a 2 on the button. Ace 10 I think rips it in and takes it down pre-flop. Doesn't really want to play call here. 18 blinds. Jags rips them all in and takes it down. Ace Queen for Doggo in the big. Jags with an ace and a 3. Don't do it, Jags. They're not afraid just to rip it in and try to take it down pre-flop, as they don't want to face the 3-bet pre. But they do play call. Or sorry, what the hell? They do play raise, min raise. Doggo rips it in, and Jags swiftly folds. Doggo with a couple of 4s, 10-6 suited for Bad Day will open it up. Doggo calls from the small. Jack 7 suited for Mecca. Would have flopped the freaking flush. Doggo's got a flush draw. Bad day with a straight draw, 2 over cards. We get the queen of spades on the turn, locking up the board for Doggo. What would be cool is the 10 of spades comes. Because then Mecca could type in the chat like, yo, I would add a straight flush. No, they wouldn't do that. Anyway, 6 on the river doesn't help bad day. Doggo with the flush will take the pot down. King 6, or what the hell? King Jack for Doggo. 6-6 for Jags. Holy, mixed up the 2 hands. 6s will rip. King Jack, I don't know what to do with. Finds the fold. And we're moving along. You see that Jags has $2,500, $2,600 bounty on their head. I thought Doggo would have thought about it for a second with the King Jack. If you lose, you'll be in last place, which would really suck. Anyways, I thought the King Jack would have thought about it for a second. We see a Mecca open with the Jack 10 suited, Jags with the King and the 9. From the small blind, we'll just let that go. Aces for Day of the Dead. Bad day with the Jack 9. We'll raise it on up from the cutoff. Ace, ace. We'll come in for a 3-bet here. Seven blinds is the size. And bad day swiftly folds. Jack 10 suited, bad days right back in there. Ace 9 for Mecca in the big blind. They play call, and we see bad day down to 46 bigs. They make a pair of 10s. But Mecca's got 41. Day of the Dead with 35. That big chip advantage is kind of diminished. Ace 10 for Mecca in the small. We'll limp it in. Jack 9 for bad day. Checks it on back. 6-5-4 flop. Not much doing for either player. Flop will go check, check. No, bad day bets 1.5 blinds in position. And the ace 10 just finds the fold on the flop. Boppity boo. Queen Jack suited for Mecca. Queen Jack for Doggo. Doggo opens it up. Queen Jack thinking about a 3-bet here. Makes it 6 blinds to go. Jags will fold 7-5, and Doggo will likely let go of Queen Jack too. Ace 10 for Doggo. They'll open it on up. 8-6 for Day of the Dead in the big blind. Day of the Dead plays call. Flops top pair. Open-ended straight draw. Doggo with 2 overs. Backdoor nut flush draw. Plays call facing the small flop bet. It's a lead in fact. 7 on the turn. Day of the Dead bets again. Small, about 2.5 blinds, and takes the pot down. Ace Queen for bad day will open it on up and take it down pre. Queen 9 for Day of the Dead will just fold the small blind. 9-8 for Jags. Letting that go. I don't know why. I thought they were going to play that from the cutoff, being in last place position. Off a 14 blind stack. Sure as fuck, they're just going to fold that. Doggo limps in 8-7. Flops a straight draw to the 6. Bets a blind, and King High for Mecca will find the fold. 9-10 suited for Mecca. Might get the chance to limp it in again, and they do. Ace 5 for bad day will raise it on up. 3.5 blinds is the size, and Mecca will play call. Oh, excuse me. Queen Jack 9 flop. 7.5 blinds in the middle. Open-ended straight draw, and bottom pair for Mecca sees a 2 blind bet. Bad day looking for an ace or for some bets to get through at some point. Get a call on the flop. Deuce on the turn is not what bad day is looking for. I wonder if we just slow down. We do, and we find an ace on the river. 11.5 blinds will slide bad days away unless they find a fold somehow. This might just go check though as the flush completes and there's straights out there. Mecca goes in the tank. They bet 9 blinds. That's kind of scary. And bad day folds at the top as the pairs. Nice play by Mecca. As they're just behind bad day now by about 0.1 blinds. But bad day's got a couple of kings. 7s for Mecca will open it on up from the button. Bad day will 3-bet. Jags will get out of the way. And Mecca's in a little bit of trouble here. So play call. I don't think we rip it in. That'd be a little bit of a punt ski. Ace, jack, flop. Mecca can let go of the 7s now, but bad day might bet real small. Or check even. Pretty bad board for kings if we're being honest. Still flush draws, some worse pocket pairs. If either player bets, I think it's small. Mecca bets 4 blinds in position. Bad day with those kings. We'll play call. 3 on the turn. 24 blinds in the middle. I think it just checks down from this point. Unless either player makes a boat on the river. Can you imagine if Mecca just turns the 7s into a bluff? Not going to happen in this instance. 10 on the river. Front door flush bricks. King queen makes it straight. Bad day checks over the kings. And Mecca checks down to the 7s, and kings will take a nice pot. Bad day back in first place. 8-7 for Jags. Might limp it in, might just fold. Day of the Dead with a jack and a 6 in the big blind. Gets a walk. Eight for Day of the Dead from the small blind. We'll rip it in for 26 blinds. Or do we just limp it in? Do we make it 3 blinds? What do we do Day of the Dead? 3.5 blinds is the size and they take it down pre. 8 jack for bad day. 5-5 for Jags. Jags with 12 blinds might rip it in, looking to take it down pre-flop. Mecca with a king and a 7. We'll see a $2,600 bounty. We're suited and booted, and we just find the fold. $9-5 for Day of the Dead. 40 blinds. Doesn't necessarily want to raise into bad day's big blind, but we got chips to play with. And a hand that can... No, we let it hit the muck. King deuce will lip it in for Mecca. Get a raise from the 7 deuce from bad day. And Mecca lets go a king deuce suited. Nice play by bad day. Not much doing here. Jack 7 for Mecca on the button. We'll let that go. King deuce will rip it in and take it down pre from the small. Boopity boo, boopity boo. Jags quickly folds the 4 and the 2, and we're moving along as blinds go up. Really not much doing here, but there's a 6 and a 9 in the big blind. 5-2 for Jags. We'll just walk it out. Ace 8 for Doggo in the big blind. Sees a raise from bad day. Queen 8-0. Day of the Dead with King 10-0 lets her go from the small blind. Doggo will play call. Whoa, we just rip it in and take it down pre. That works too. I figured Jag's sitting there with 10.5 blinds. Doggo will just play call, but we got a couple of jacks for Doggo. Bad day with a couple of 9s. If Doggo's just going to rip it in, they'll get a call. There's the jam again from the jack. Swift call from the 9s. Looking... Ooh, just a 9. Just a 9. A 10 on the river. That's about for both players. Doesn't matter. Doggo wins, of course. Doggo with a couple of ducks. So bad days down to 28 blinds. They're in third place. They call and they flop a straight draw to the queen or 7. 7 on the turn. That will give bad day a few chips. 5 blinds in the middle will slide their way. Doggo will get out of the way. What a stupid fucking constructed sentence that was. Deuces hit the muck. Ace king for Jags in the big blind. Might just get a walk here. They sure would love to get... Oh, 8-3 rips it in. 32% looking for an a ace or king or spade dealer. 6 of diamonds on the river, so Jags is gone. So Alonso. That's a damn shame. Bad day gets a big bounty. And they're back in the game. 43. Well, I mean, they were in the game before, but 43 blinds. Second place position. Back in a commanding position. Ace 9-3 flop. Goes check 3 on the turn. Day of the Dead. With 7 high and no draw, no equity. His Doggo's got a pair of 9s. They bet about 2 blinds and that will get the job done. King 4 for Doggo. We'll raise to 3.5 blinds. Mecca with queen 6 in the big will let it go. 3-3 for Doggo. We'll raise 10-10 for Mecca. I like a jam myself personally. We could always go for a small 3-bet. We're 4-handed. We're in last place position. Mecca raises to 6.5 blinds and they take it down pre. Queen Jack for Mecca will raise. 10-5 for Day of the Dead, and the big blind will play call. We get a King Jack 10 flop. Both players with a pair, but Mecca's a little bit more comfortable being open-ended, having middle pair and whatnot. They bet 1.65 blinds in position. Day of the Dead with that bottom pair. No backdoor flush draw, no backdoor straight draw, nothing. They just fold. Queens for Mecca will raise it on up. King 4 for Doggo in the big will just let it go. No action for the queens. It's truly anybody's game here as we're about 32 blinds deep. Day of the Dead, a very capable player. Putting on quite the show here so far today. Not getting any bounties or nothing, but still playing a good game. Queen 8. Sees a 10. Ace 10-2 flop. Doggo with a backdoor royal flush draw, a straight draw to the king. They have the best of it with Queen Jack right now, and they see about a 2 blind bet. They play call swiftly, ace on the turn. Day of the Dead. Thinking about another bet ski here. Do we just slow down? No, we don't. We bet 3 blinds. And Doggo, what do? Do we find another call with our straight draw on a paired board? With a flush draw out there? Doggo says no, we just fold. Nice play by Day of the Dead. Ace 4 suited before it even sees both cards. Comes in for the open. Excuse me. Day of the Dead takes it down. Day of the Dead gets a walk. As we are really starting to even up here. Excuse me. Mecca with 33 blinds. Day of the Dead with 39. 39 for Bad Day. 43 for Doggo. So we're all within that 11 blind range there. Ace 4 for Doggo. They'll raise to 3.5 blinds. Well, if you aren't familiar with poker at all, this is kind of abnormal. Typically, you don't see this. The chips even up. You typically see one player start to accumulate chips, or two players accumulate chips. Like, you don't typically see the chips spread out evenly, as they started to do as we got four-handed here. Anyways, Doggo's gonna pick up a few more chips. They bet about 4 blinds with 3 of a kind. Mecha with king high. We have a fair reason to play call. They do find it. Jack on the turn, or river, sorry. Doggo with that ace. We'll bet again. I wonder if we jam. Whoa, Doggo checks. Shows down the 3 of a kind. Mecha will show down the king. And Doggo takes a big pot. They have 53 blinds. Ace king for Day of the Dead. Bad Day calls the 7-8 in the big blind. Flops 3 in a row. Day of the Dead. We'll bet small and take it down with the straight draw. 7-6 for Bad Day. Limps it in. Queen 7 for Day of the Dead. King 5-3 flop. 2.5 blinds in the middle. Pretty boring shit. Bad Day. Bets 1 blind with a straight draw to the 4. Queen 7 floats. 3 on the turn. Bad Day slows down. Checks on the board pairing turn. 7 on the river. Both players make a pair. On a paired board with a king out there, we are chopping the pot. And I don't think either player folds. We'll see a bet ski and a call. 3.4 blinds is the size. Day of the Dead will click the call button. If they raise, they could potentially get Bad Day off the pot. If you make it something stupid big. Make it like 15 blinds. No, we just land on the call option. We chop it up. Queen 2 versus Queen 5, blind on blind. Doggo gets a walk. You see, this chip distribution is typically what you see. 1 player in first, 1 player in second, 1 player in third. And like, there's a nice like little bit of it's like a decline. It's an even decline all the way down. It's kind of appealing to see. It's not all, completely even all the way down, but you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? He's just kind of saying a lot of words. You probably don't know what I mean. Is Bad Day's got a pair of 2s. Mecha with the straight draw to the 9. 2 live cards with the Jack or the 8. So it's like what, like a 12 blind difference between Mecha and Bad Day, and it's a 12 blind difference between Day of the Dead and Doggo, approximately. So that's kind of appealing to see. Where it was at that point in time, no longer is the case. Anyways, what a bunch of useless words. Jack 2 for Day of the Dead in the big blind. Jack 10-3 flop is bad news for Day of the Dead. Unless they can find a 2, of course. Mecha's got the toppest of pairs. Bets 1.65 blinds. We get a call. 6 spades in the turn. Does bring in the flush draw. So the thing is, the 2 is so... I don't know the right word. It's not scary. A spade would be scary on the river. For Mecha, that is. Where if you see a deuce on the river, you're like, I don't give a shit. 5 blinds is the bet size. Day of the Dead will have to call. Could even rip it in here. Looking for a spade or a 2. Day of the Dead will rip it in. There it is. All in is the size. Quick call with about 73%. We get a queen on the river. Mecha takes down a huge ass pot. 44 blinds slide their way. Blinds do go up. Day of the Dead with ace 3 suited will rip it in. Doggo with king 6 in the big blind. 15 blinds is the size, and Doggo just folds. Ace queen for Bad Day will open it on up. Queen 10 for Doggo in the small blind. Ooh, a 3-bet. The 7 bigs, bad day, will rip it in and take it down pre. Ace queen is way too strong four-handed to let go of. It does not matter that we got Day of the Dead there with 16 blinds. Ace queen is an all-in. And first place position again for bad day is Ace 7 will raise for doggo on the button. 2-3 has been bad days holding, but it's not suited, so they find the fold this time round. 6-3 for bad day. Day of the Dead with a king and a 2 will get a walk. Ace 2 for Mecha, looking to open it on up from the cutoff, and they get it through pre-flop. King 5 for bad day, thinks about an open. King 10 suited for Day of the Dead. Would rip it all in, I think. What do we do facing an open? There's the open by the King 5. Rip it in, Day of the Dead. Rip it in. Rip it. Rip it in. And they get it through pre-flop. Really not much doing here. Bad day gets a walk. Ace 10. Ooh, look at this. Ace 8 for bad day in the small blind. Could always 3-bet. Ace king for Day of the Dead in the big blind. Bad day just plays call. Day of the Dead will rip it in. And if I'm Mecha, I think about jamming all in myself. Facing the all in. There's so many pocket pairs. There's some worse ace X that might do this as a bluff. Some like suited king, queen, queen, jack. Nah, some of that might call. I'm thinking more so pocket pairs and a few worse ace X that's suited and booted. Then you'll of course see the ace, king, queen, jack. Not surprised to see Mecha take the spot. Looking for an 8 to 10, a diamond. King of spades on the river. 43 blind slide, Day of the Dead's way. Ooh, and we get a little break. So we got about 20 minutes left. Good shit, I can just stick it out. 5-6 for Day of the Dead. Looks like they raise from the small and take it down pre. Ace jack for doggo in the small, sees a button raise. Day of the Dead with king 5. Doggo 3-bet and take it down pre. Now they play call. We get a king 3-3 flop. Flop goes check check, ace on the turn. Goes check check, 4 on the river. No straight for Day of the Dead. Playing kings and 3s with the ace kicker. Doggo isn't playing their jack kicker, but still has the best pair on a paired board. What a bunch of useless words again as Doggo gets the call. Day of the Dead with a couple of 7s. Will raise and take it down pre. Momentarily they were back in first place position. They get a 7 and a 2. Bad day with an ace and a 4 in the small blind. Will raise and limp it in. Just kidding. Limp pot. Queen 8 5 flop. Ace high for bad day. Checks it on over. Day of the Dead. Backdoor straight draw. Checks it back. 10 on the turn. Yo, this pot is small. 2.5 blinds, not even. Bad day makes top pair. Nothing doing for Day of the Dead. Bad day bets large and takes the pot down. 2.5 blinds slide their way. Couple playable holdings here. We get an ace deuce rip from Mecha. 5-5 for bad day. Doggo in the big with an ace and a 6. Bad day will think about going bounty hunting here. They do just let it go. Doggo with an ace 6 in the big blind. Wasn't expecting to see such a weak holding like ace deuce O to rip it all in pre-flop here. They do just get it through. Not surprised to see a couple folds there. Then Mecca gets an ace and a king. Bad day with 8-jack suited. Ace 4 for Day of the Dead. Somebody's opening it up and Mecca's ripping the big blind. We could I was gonna say we could see a bad day open a 4 or 3 bet from Day of the Dead and a 4 bet all in from Mecca. Instead, we just get the open from the ace 4 on the button, a jam from the ace and the king. Day of the Dead has about 10 more to call into a pot of 26. They do find it. They need a 4. They don't find any. No chop outs, just a 4 on the river. No problem. We're gonna lose Mecca in 4th place. Day of the Dead gets a bounty. And Doggo with the king 7 will open it on up. 4-7 for Day of the Dead in the big blind. Flops quite well. Queen 4-2 flop goes check bet call and we're off to the turn. Just kidding. Check bet raise fold and we're off to the next hand. 7-8 for Day of the Dead. Doggo with a 6 and a 5 in the big blind sees a 3 blind size. They do play call and flop a straight draw to the 4 and that 6 and 5 are still live. 10-3 flop. 2 hearts out there. Doggo bets large. 4.4 blinds. Day of the Dead does not have a reason to call. So they let go of their holding. Nice play by Doggo. 8-5. Doggo will limp it in. No, we raised 3.5 blinds. Bad day with a 10 and an 8 in the big blind plays call. 9-7 flop. Top pair for bad day. Doggo with a straight draw to this 6 in the backdoor heart draw. Bad day just plays call. Queen of hearts on the turn. Doggo might continue to tell the story with a big bet. Half pot, 7.5 blinds. 7.1, just under half pot. Bad day has to call here. They are not comfy at all though. Doggo very likely to slow down on the river unimproved though. Jack of hearts. So Doggo will rip, bad day will fold. And we're moving along. What a shame. Does not make any sense for Doggo to bet anything other than all in. Bad day will fold. They block the straight. That pair of 9s. What a damn shame, eh? 8-5 with a gutter to the 6. Just goes runner, hard heart. Nice fold by bad day. Not easy to find, but nonetheless, they've continued to play a strong game, even as the cards have gone against them. Ace 10 versus Queen 10. We might get this all in pre. Ace 10 rips. Queen 10 would prefer to be suited, if we're being honest. And Queen 10 would much prefer to be like Ace 10. Queen 10 would much prefer to be a pocket pair. Queen 10 would much prefer to be King Queen. So it just finds the fold. King Deuce for Day of the Dead. We'll raise it on up. Doggo, it always limp. Doggo with a couple of 6s. We get a King Jack flop, which is interesting. Day of the Dead bets a blind. Look at, there's a kitty in Day of the Dead's picture. It's Doggo versus Cato. Doggo bets 1.26 blinds with the pair of 6s. Day of the Dead with the 3 of a kind. The kitty. Thinking about a check raise here. Check raise to 5.4 blinds, and that will get the job done. 9-10, Doggo raises the 2.5 blinds. Bad day with an ace in the bag. We'll rip it all in and take it down pre. Queen 9 versus Queen 6. Bad day will limp in. Day of the Dead will check it back. We get an ace jack 10 flop, so straight draw to the king or 8 for bad day. They bet a blind. Day of the Dead. Oh, bingo. King of spades on the turn. We got a flush draw to any spade. Bad day says, ooh, look how good that card is. I'll just bet 3.4 blinds with my straight. The nuts. Hey, Day of the Dead, you ever heard of the nuts? Then Day of the Dead's like, yo, how about the nuts with a redraw? And then Bad Day's like, this ain't no PLO. 7 of spades on the river. Bad Day says, yo, what's up with this run out, yo? And you called on the turn? What you got, 2 pair? What you gonna call? 5.5 blinds, that's a reasonable size, about half pot. And Day of the Dead says, yo, nuts with the redraw. Nuts. Rips it all in. And Bad Day is having a bad day. So personally, I find the call here, even though you just know you're losing. You're like, maybe I'll chop it with another queen. I got that 9 of spades, so I blocked 9-8, but we're still going to find the call, and Bad Day lives up to their name. 3rd place position for them after putting on a hell of a performance. Eat 8 for Day of the Dead. Ace 2 suited plays call for Doggo in the bag. We get a king 9-7 flop. Flop goes check bet call. We're off to the turn. 3 of clubs. No help for Doggo. Goes check check. Queen on the river goes check. No, it doesn't. Doggo bets with the ace high. 5.4 blinds. And Day of the Dead lets go of the 8s. Nicely done by Doggo to start off the heads up battle. Queen for Day of the Dead. Jack 9 suited for Doggo. We'll see a 3 bet. 7.6 blinds is the size. Doggo is going to have to call here. Queen, Jack, 8 flop. So we got a straight draw and a pair for Doggo. Top set for the kitty cat. They check it on over. 4 of hearts on the turn. Kitty bets 5 blinds. Doggo calls. Queen on the river. That's Quadio. And I might rip it in here. You know what? We might pick a smaller size. Whatever size we bet, Doggo's calling. 2.8 blinds, just a quick call. So Kitty was hoping to get an induce, or hoping to induce a jam there from Doggo. They just bet really small. So they did miss out on some value as Doggo makes 3 of a kind here with a 3 and a 2. Kitty bets a blind with 5-4. Backdoor straight draws. Sees a small ass check raise and Kitty finds the fold. Doggo with the king 7 will limp it in. Kitty will check back the 3 and the 5. Flop bottom pair. Backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. 2 live cards to the king or 7 for Doggo. They find a king on the turn. Day of the Dead sees 3 diamonds out there and they got bottom pair. They say, I don't really care. They check it on over. Doggo bets 1.5 blinds. And if I'm Day of the Dead, I flick in a call. 6 on the river goes check bet fold and we're moving along. 5 blinds is the size. And Doggo takes her down. Ace 3 versus 5-3. We get an ace 9-6 flop goes check bet fold and we're moving along. Can you imagine if Doggo check raises here? 4 blinds is the size. Backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. Deuce on the turn. So it's not quite what Doggo's looking for, but they got the straight draw to the 4. They continue to tell the story and bet another 7 blinds. Day of the Dead will play call. We'll be off to the river. What a scary spot though for ace 3-0. 5-3 off for Doggo. Can you imagine if we get the kitty to fold? Fold your hand. No, all in is the size by the kitty. And they take it down. Ace 10 for Doggo will limp it in. King 6 checks it back. 3-2-2 flop goes check check. 9 on the turn. Goes check check. 8 on the river goes check check. And Doggo takes a small one. King 8 will limp it in. 5-8 checks it back. We get a queen 9-8 flop. Both players hit that bottom pair. 7 on the turn. So a straight draw to the 6 for the dog. 10 on the river goes check check. And Day of the Dead takes a nice little pot. 6.5 blinds slide their way. Dog goes down to about 16. King 3 limps it in. Day of the Dead with the queen and the 3 will raise it up and take it down pre. No, they check it back. Ace jack jack flop. 1 blind bet on the flop. The kitty calls with the queen high. Sees the jack, make 3 of a kind on the turn. Doggo bets another blind, gets a call from the queen high once again. River goes check check and Doggo takes a small pot. 9-4 raises the 2 blinds. 6-5 calls. We get a 10-5 2 flop. Doggo bets small with the backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. Middle pair check raises and takes the pot down. Ducks versus 7-6. We'll get a limp and a jam and a fold. Of course, I don't know why I didn't say fold, but anyways. 4-7 gets a walk. Aces versus Jack 6-0. Doggo won't get much value here. They make it 5 blinds to go and take it down pre. Ace Queen will limp it in. King 5 or Day of the Dead. Checks it on back. We get a 10-4 3 flop. Flop goes check check 6 on the turn. Day of the Dead with a straight draw to the deuce or 7. 2 live cards with a king or 5. They will bet and get a call. 3.333 blinds is the size. Just kidding. Day of the Dead takes it down on the turn. 4-3 versus King 3. Kitty limps it in. Doggo checks it back. 7-6-2 flop goes check check. Pin on the turn. Goes check check 9 on the river. Kitty's gonna bet here. About 2 blinds and they get king high off the pot. Nicely done. 7-5 versus 4-4. Get a limp and a jam and we're folding to 7-5 suited. Excuse me. Jack 7 versus Ace 8. We get a limp and a check and an Ace King 3 flop. Backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. Doggo plays call 6 on the turn. Doesn't help Doggo out at all. Top pair for Kitty bets about 4 blinds and takes the pot down. 10-8 gets a walk. 10-8. This time for Doggo flops pair 10, 7-3. Sees backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw, bets a blind. Doggo raises to 2.5 blinds. And Day of the Dead says, yo, what's this about? Do I just jam over the top of this? Fuck you, Doggo. They play call 4 a diamonds on the turn? Are you serious, Poker Stars? All in is the play by Doggo and the perfect card for Day of the Dead. They still have to find the fold facing the action. 10-7 versus 7-6. We get a Jack 4-4 flop. Goes check check 6 on the turn. Good news for Doggo. Ace on the river. 2 blinds will slide dogs away. They bet 1.5 blinds and the 10 high hits the muck. Queen 5 versus 9-4. We get a limp pot. Doggo says no it's not. Makes it 3 blinds and they take it down pre. King 9. Doggo limps it in. Jack 6 for Day of the Dead. We'll raise it up. Doggo will jam and take it. No, we get none of that. Doggo limps. Day of the Dead checks. 10-7 4 flop. Goes check check 4 on the turn. Goes check check 5 on the river. Goes check check. King high will take a small pot. Kings. King 4 for Doggo will raise to 3 blinds. And if I'm Day of the Dead, I like a call as we get a 4-3-2 flop. Doggo's in trouble and they rip it all in for 3x the pot almost. King on the turn, completely dead Doggo. Let's just quickly go back here. See how many times the X the pot was. 17 blinds in the middle. Or 17 blinds behind. 4-3-2 flop. It is heads up. Holy fuck, big jam. Anyways, I suppose that's the end of the show. So if you made it all the way through, thanks for checking this bullshit out. Hopefully we'll see you in another video. Until then, adios amigos.